Hello, welcome to Paul's Take, and this is an interesting video. This is my take on ghost. What in the world? That's creepy. That's okay, I got this. Light up, Scott. Yeah. The lights went out, but that's okay. The show must go on. Where was I? Yes, ghost. Okay, so first let's try to define ghost. What is a ghost? Since we don't really know exactly what a ghost is, let's just say that a ghost is some kind of entity that's somewhere not quite in our dimension. Maybe they're somehow either in a different dimension that's tied into our dimension. Maybe they're like a halfway point to the next place you're supposed to go when you're dead. Or maybe some kind of weird energy. Or some creepy demonic thing. I don't know. Completely honest with you, the subjects of ghosts always kind of creep me out. I'm not a real big fan of the whole ghost hunter thing. It would just scare me to death. So, am I an expert on ghosts? Absolutely not. But I feel like our last house was haunted. That's right. Don't tell the people that live there now, but everybody in that house had an experience. Different levels. Now, me, I believe you kind of attract these kind of energies, right? So I try not to think about it too much. But for a little while, we were watching these videos, those on TV where they go looking for ghosts. But I didn't. So then we seemed like we were attracting some energy, and my wife was getting experiences, creepy experiences. Like one day, she opened the door from the bedroom to the hallway, but there's usually like a night light or some kind of light coming through it. But she felt this dark energy in her base. And it freaked her out. That could be, but she said it was like you definitely see a darkness approach her. Right? And my little girl, when she was just a little baby, just still learning how to talk. One day she's in her bedroom and she's with her mother, and she says, "Mama, who that man right there?" And of course my wife was trying to be cool, like, "Oh, what man? That man right there." Of course, the hairs on her back of her neck was like freaking out. Trying to keep going. "Oh, it's just your grandfather, probably. We don't know." But it was scary. Now, have I experienced it? Like I said, I was the one out of everybody that was most avoiding that ghostly energy. So I don't think I really got much experience, but I did have a few different instances. Let's go with the easy stuff first, okay? It gets better, but we'll build up to that for my own personal experience in that house. First off, that house went through so many light bulbs, it's ridiculous. You would walk into a room, the light would flicker and go out. It'd be on all day, but then as soon as you walk in a room, flicker, then go out. We had that happen so many times, it was ridiculous. We had a stack of light bulbs because light bulbs never last. A lot of flickering lights. Could be electrical, could be logical explanation. But the timing was always the creepy part. It wasn't like you walk in a room, the light was out. Or like you sit in a room for a long time and then it goes out. I feel like you walk into a room and it goes out. The timing was creepy. So many lights flickered and so many lights went out. But that's not my bigger, more convincing experience. But really, the experience that I had a couple times was at one point when my little girl was young. She was pretty young, and she wanted to sleep with Mama in my bed, right? So I was forced to sleep in the guest room, and so I sleep in the guest room. Door would be closed, right? We have cats, right? We had 2, 3 cats at a time. So one night, I'm laying in bed. I'm not asleep yet. I'm trying to fall asleep. I just get in bed, maybe was watching some videos or something, then turn off everything. And now I'm laying in bed, ready to go to sleep. And then I felt, I don't know if you had a cat before. If you had a cat before, you know sometimes they'd be like packing on the bed sheets or the bed blankets. They're just packing. They pack and they pull the bed sheets or the bed blankets. They pull and they pack and they pull and they pack. And you can feel them tugging. It's not a subtle thing by any means. It's obvious. It's so one day. So I'm laying in there, and all of a sudden I feel the packing of the cat. The packing pulling onto the sheet. And you don't want them to do that because it messes up your blankets and stuff, right? Because they're getting their nails and they're pulling on it with their nails. And you're like, dude, don't mess up the blankets, you know? Anyways, when I'm sleeping, there's no litter box in my bedroom, so you don't want the cats in there. So I have to scoot them out sometimes. They'll go under the bed. They'll just hang out there, right? So this one time, I feel it. I feel it packing. And I'm like, oh, the cat. There's a cat under my bed. I'm not nervous about it. I'm not freaking out at all. It's a cat under the bed. Nothing to be afraid of. So I turn on the light to go get the cat out. I look under the bed, and there was nobody there. It was, and there's no place for the cat to hide. Under the bed is flat. There's nothing underneath. We don't store boxes where they can hide underneath. It's an open air underneath the bed is open. There's not much in this extra spare room. There's a nightstand on each side of the bed. That's basically it. There's nothing, and there's a drawer thing, dresser. There's nowhere for the cat to hide. There was no cat there. I felt it as clear as day. Packing, pulling, and packing. And I'm like, there's a cat. No cat. And then, so that happened once. Scared the crap out of me, right? So I let it go. After that, I slept with a night light. I'm not lying. And then another day, another night, probably months later, I felt a cat jump on the bed. And again, no cat. Creepy. Okay, so, yeah, that was freaky. I never felt like it was a negative energy. It was just like a cat ghost in my room. My daughter saw a man. My wife felt energy. And there was lots of instances where they heard sounds like footsteps. Now, one thing nice about animals is you can dismiss a lot of that as animals. Oh, that's just the animal. It's just a cat. It's just a cat walking around like a man in the hallway. But, so, there was a lot of little things. I can't really piece them together right now. But another creepy thing was when we were finally moving out of that house, we never moved because of the ghost. Because for the most part, the ghost never felt negative. except for my wife. She had that one experience where the dark energy was there in front of her face. But for the most part, it didn't feel negative, right? So we didn't really care so much that we were sharing the house with a ghost. To me, it was ghost cats, but whatever. Hey, whatever. But then, when we were packing up to leave, I'm starting to feel a little goosebumps right now thinking about it. So we're all packing up, and we've got everything out of the house. The house is completely empty now. There's nothing left. We are finally going to just walk out of that house forever, never to see the house again, right? Because we are done packing. You're done moving. And we're walking out. Now, all of us, all of a sudden, felt like we couldn't get out of that house fast enough. Like we felt like we were nearly getting pushed out, all three of us, at the same time. We're so, like, all of a sudden creeped out about the house. Like the house was mad at us or something. And we were freaked out. And none of us even wanted to turn around to look at the house again. When we got out that door, we were gone. Didn't want to even look back to see if there was something standing there or nothing. We were like, let's just get out of here. We nearly ran out of that place. So creepy. All three of us had that negative energy, like the house was pissed off at us or something. Willies. All right, hold on a second. I need some of that liquid courage. Okay, so what's my take? Which is my take on Ghost? Do I believe in him? Sure. I watch those ghost hunter shows enough. They have all this video footage. It could all be fake, but with my experience and their experience, it seems real. There's some kind of ghostly thing going on. Okay, so what is it? What's my take on it? What is a ghost? Well, it's kind of weird because, in one hand, I believe that we're living in sort of like a matrix, right? Because I think that this world is kind of a show, kind of a game, kind of something. Maybe it's for learning, I don't know the why. But with that being said, we're still living in certain kind of like parameters, right? Even if this is not a real, even if it's just a matrix, right? We're still living in some kind of parameters. So it seems to me that a ghost, well, you know, for one, we have life energy, right? I'm moving. I'm not laying around like a lump. It's not like all of a sudden I keeled over and that I'm just a shell of myself, and whatever life energy that kept me moving, kept me thinking, would be gone after you pass away. But I'm still here, right? So there's a life energy. So if that's the case, and they say that at a subatomic level, right? This is science now. At a subatomic level, they can't, and if you're looking really close and you're looking at my cheek, at subatomic level, you can't really differentiate where the cheek ends and the air begins. It all just looks like one. Subatomic level, you just can't, it all looks continuous, like just a big old static full of energy. So our energy, apparently, when it leaves your body, there's a part of your energy, because obviously when you see a dead slab, you know, if you've been to a funeral and you see some person that's dead, you can see there is no life energy in that person. But there's plenty of life energy in me, right? Well, that life energy dissipates somewhere. Well, maybe it's supposed to go somewhere else, right? And maybe it just decides to stick around for some whatever reason. Maybe because it got lost. Maybe because it didn't want to go yet. Maybe it's clinging on to life, right? Or maybe in the after, once you pass away from the material living aspect. Maybe with that place you can come back. Maybe it's just like all part of one thing. That like say you say call it heaven. Well, maybe in heaven you could just like, I don't think I'll stop by and harass Paul's take, mess with him a little bit, maybe, or maybe. So either you have access. So I think really, in the other dimension, afterlife, time doesn't really exist. So you can be like in both places at once, heaven and earth, saying hello, checking up on you, seeing how's it going, and also at the same time being on the heavenly beach somewhere, if you believe in heaven. So that's my take, I think. This thing's gone on pretty long, so I don't want to get much longer. Maybe I'll do another part 2. But if you have any questions about this or any other thing, let me know in the comment box. Maybe I'll do a video on it. This was actually felt like it's really short, but it wasn't really long, so I'm going to end it now. But by all means, ask me some questions, or if you want my theory on anything, ask me. If it's interesting to me, I'll do a video on it. If it's not interesting to me, then I'm not going to do it just because. All right. Anyhow, thanks for watching Paul's Take, and that's my take on Ghost.